Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to tonight's film review. Tonight we're looking at that new release that I unboxed a few days ago called Godzilla versus Biolante, or Biolante, whatever you want to call him. This is a 1989 Godzilla film that's just been released by Criterion Pictures. Like I explained to you, there's doing different sort of eras of Godzilla films. Now this is like the middle era, the 80s, and it's the end of the 80s sort of era. And this one is based again where they all know about Godzilla, and the film starts off with Godzilla sort of destroying one of the cities in Japan. And they've created like a warning system, like four areas of warning. Like one, there seems to be sort of movement. There could be Godzilla 2. Godzilla's made a sort of like appearance, sort of like this sort of thing. And when it gets to number 4, they obviously evacuate the town and try and destroy it. Anyway, we've got these scientists who are trying to find a way to destroy Godzilla. At the beginning of the film, like I said, he attacked the city, but he left a few blood, so some skin cells around the city, which the scientists have managed to grab. And also at the time there was these Americans there that were also trying to grab these skin cells, and then there's like a gunfight between these Americans and these Japanese soldiers over these skin cells. It's very bizarre. And then we see an assassin come and kill these American troops, like a like a Matrix sort of guy, and he kills the troops and he steals their cells. So we've got like 3 different sort of people after these cells. And then they take some of the cells to the lab where we see our main sort of scientist and his daughter. They're trying to sort of like fathom it out. And there's also a young girl that can sort of talk to plants and sort of a bit psychic, and she's been talking to plants and stuff like this. And they've come across that they might be able to mix the cells and this plants together to create a anti-nuclear bacteria which will destroy nuclear power, so like nuclear bombs and Godzilla, obviously, because Godzilla is all based upon sort of nuclear energy, and they think they found a way around it. And then their laboratory gets bombed by the terrorists called Alien. It's a terrorist group, and the scientist's daughter gets killed there, and he vows not to do it anymore, any more experiments and stuff like this. But then the terrorists then find out where Godzilla is living. He's living in some volcano on an island just off Japan, and they planted bombs all around it, and they've been blackmailing this company for these cells. Otherwise they're going to let these bombs off, so that will awaken Godzilla. And all this sort of stuff sort of goes on, and all these sort of black market deals going on. And when they're just going to make a deal with the detonator, the terrorist guy turns up and shoots the soldiers again, and the lorry that's got the detonator on it sort of rolls over and it's triggered a detonator, and then that sort of blows up the volcano, and Godzilla makes another appearance, and we see him. And by this time, the bacteria cells that they've been growing with plants has grown into some mutated plant, and there's these long tentacles, and it's been attacking these more sort of terrorists have gone to the laboratory to try and steal these cells, and the cells have developed into this like this plant, and this plant has killed these people off. And then we see that the plant is immersed out of the lake into this big sort of tree flower sort of thing, like this huge sort of monster, and it's got like big teeth like Deadly Spawn, and it's also like Deadly Spawn. It's got offsprings like on tentacles springing off for it. It did remind me of the creature from the Deadly Spawn when I saw it. And all this sort of things going on, and this girl starts talking to it, the plant, the one that's a bit psychic, and she says that it wants to help, and can we help the plant? But Godzilla is obviously just because he's got this obviously sense. He knows about this plant, and he's starting to make his way towards the lake where this plant is. And then this is where it gets a bit like Thunderbirds, because they've built this sort of special aircraft that looks like a Thunderbird. And it comes out and it opens out and it's got like this crystal inside, which fires this so-called sort of like antibacterial thing at Godzilla. So that goes towards the trying to attack him with, and all these ships are going towards Godzilla to try and stop it and attack it. But to no avail, sort of really. Godzilla just destroys them all, sort of thing. And the bacteria didn't really work again, so Godzilla sort of makes his way and then sort of disappears under the sea. And then he turns out to the lake, and then we have the big sort of showdown fight, the first showdown fight between Biolante, which is the plant, and Godzilla. And it sort of it looks like Godzilla's defeated the plant because it's all on fire and stuff like this, and Godzilla goes away off somewhere else, and they're still trying to track where Godzilla's going. So it's a little bit everywhere, this film, but it's a little bit wonderful at the same time. It is, the story is not as straightforward as a lot of Godzilla films, although it is. They've created a creature and it's going to fight Godzilla. They were trying to stop Godzilla because Godzilla keeps destroying the cities. And all this sort of, that's the basic plot line. And they've created this monster to do so. So this is a human-built monster by genetic engineering. So this is where the horror of the film is in, about genetic engineering. And it's a great film. It really is one of the good sort of Godzilla films that I've seen. It's a really cool sort of storyline, a little bit more in depth than other sort of Godzilla films. But it's really, really cool, and I like that. So I'm going to score this an amazing watch and give it an 8 out of 10. It's really, really cool. No, sod it. Let's give it a 9 out of 10 because the Godzilla looks awesome in this. Yeah, so the pluses of this film, Godzilla does look awesome in this film. It is a lot more up to date, so the effects are a lot better than the earlier ones. He doesn't look so rubbery in places. Some places he does, but other places he doesn't. And he looks good size as well. Looks really cool. And the effects are pretty cool. Although he uses his sort of his nuclear sort of beam too much. When in the other Godzilla films, it's like a build up to that. Because at most of the other films, he's just like this big clumsy dinosaur knocking all these buildings over and stuff like this. But then when he attacks the other creatures, he has this sort of like beam that he uses out of his mouth. Unfortunately, he uses it pretty much all the time in this. That's only one of the only two negatives of the film. But the acting's pretty good. It's a pretty good storyline and quite believable. It's not overacted. And the characters are really cool and really well believable. And Biolante looks absolutely fantastic too. There's some great cinematography in this film. And when you see this sort of plant out of the water, it looks awesome. It looks quite haunting and scary. It really does. And have they created a monster, or is this going to actually help them, or is Godzilla going to save them? It's that sort of thing. You just don't know where it's going to go. But like I was saying, Godzilla looks absolutely incredible in this film. It looks cool. And the picture quality is really good. So like I said, there is some grain in it. But it's not as bad as some of the older ones. But it's still of its time. And it is really, really cool. But it looks better. And it's got a bit of a more modern look to it. Apart from the stupid Thunderbird craft that they built, which is silly. I don't know why they've done that. So the other negative of the film is sometimes the sound's a bit off, the audio. It can be normal, but then it drops down and comes back again. But that's only a few times it's happened. Nothing major, nothing film breaking, but it's really, really thinking, oh God, I thought you remastered this. This is a digital 4K restoration, but it doesn't really look like it. It just looks like a good Blu-ray. And it is Blu-ray anyway in my edition, but it does look cool, and it is most definitely one of the better Godzilla films that I've seen so far. I've got the box set with like all of them in it, all the Showa ones, and I've only watched 2 or 3 of them, and I've only reviewed those. But I will get back to them and watch some more over time. There's still some Godzilla films I need to buy. I need to buy the second Godzilla and Kong film. I've not bought that yet, and I also need to be buying Godzilla minus zero or minus one, whatever it's called. I haven't got round to buying that yet. It's because I've seen it twice already, so I'm not in a rush. And it's stupidly priced, which is mad. But yeah, I will pick them up at some point. But for now, we just looked at this one, Godzilla versus Biolante, and I'm scoring it a 9 out of 10. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below. It is one of the better Godzilla films, I think. I haven't seen many of the 80s ones, so I can't really say too much. I've only seen the early ones, and I used to own them all on VHS, the early ones. And I remember them being silly, a lot of them, and a lot of them really cool. So they're a bit of a mixed bag. You know, there's some with the baby Godzilla and stuff like that, which is it gets a little bit silly. But I think they were looking to get a younger audience there, because Godzilla was this bad guy, and they tried to make him good. But in this, they're taking him back to the bad guy. And it's really, really cool. It sits right up there with the latest Godzilla and Shin Godzilla. It sits right up there with those in sort of story and quality. It's really cool. Thanks for watching this review, guys. Till my next one, please check out some horror channels for me. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Man v Film, RS Design, Pizzawell. I'm Ice Little Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrews, Haunted House, and The Maniac. And a massive shout out to my Godzilla loving lad. Sorry there's no clips in this, but this is Toyo. They will block my video straight away. Hopefully they'll leave this one up there, because I've put a few photographs up in it. But if they don't, I will put it up again without the photos in it. Anyway, guys, see you soon.